Good morning, good morning. Welcome back to Carl's Garage. This is part 2, day 2 of restoration of the truck. As you can see, we've done a lot. We've done so much, we've done so many things to the truck, but last night was crazy. As you can see, yes, it's April 4th. It's April 4th, okay? So George will be here at 4 o'clock, 4 or 5 today. It's Sunday, it's actually Easter, so it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great to deliver his truck on Easter. The bed liner's in. Bed liner came out great, but while doing the bed liner, his tailgate decided to not wanna latch. So I had to figure that out this morning. On top of that, the biggest issue that we have, Shelly's awake, so she's gonna help me film because I was trying to show them earlier. But yeah, so the body line here, I don't know if that's seen. This body line, kind of zoom out so you can get the whole truck. Yeah, there you go. This body line here down, I'm gonna sand. I'm gonna sand to get all this extra glue off and kind of smooth everything out, because when I lay the Plasti Dip, when I put the Plasti Dip on there, I don't want you to be able to see. So it needs to be smooth. I got some 220 grit right here in my sander. Just gonna hit it real quick. As you notice back here, the glue actually came off. If you look on the floor, this is glue. This is all the glue. All the nasty glue. Back here is still kind of smooth, but you can still kind of hear that noise. I can hit it with my finger. So I need to smooth all this out because you don't want to see that beneath your Plasti Dip. If it's not all even, then whenever you come around, you'll see a line. You'll be like, what the heck is that? It's not gonna look right. I'm gonna smooth it out on both sides, and then I'm gonna dip everything down. So here down, this bumper will be blacked out. So it's kind of cool to give it like a, really like a true two-tone matte black. And then this paint, I mean, look at the fender. Look at the fender compared to the door. And this doesn't even have any wax on it or anything. Look at, like, that's crazy. Like this is just buff. It's not waxed yet. So we're trying to make this top look like this fender. I still probably need to go over the hood again because the hood wants to, for some reason this hood does not want to take shine. So I might need to go over it again and then just wax everything on top. But the first step I'm gonna do is go ahead and sand the bottom. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, at this time, I'm really trying to get rid of the little bit of 3M tape that's still there. So I'm using my DA. As you see there, it gets kind of clogged. On this side, I was able to get away with 220 grit. You can go over it with about 120 like I do on the driver's side, but I don't show that in this video. Right here, I'm using just a towel. I was using a towel to find the high spots. If you ever want to find high spots, you can use your hand, but if you put a towel on your hand and rub it, you can definitely feel the high spots. In this section right here, the 220 grit worked really well. There was another section either on this side or on the driver's side to where it didn't flatten out. That's why I would probably recommend doing 220 to make everything smooth, and then, no, to do 120 grit to make everything smooth. Even if you have a little bit of metal, that's fine. You can always spray some etching primer on there and then go over the whole thing with 220 grit. That should get it really smooth enough to spray the Plasti Dip over. Because even right here, I used it and it came out pretty smooth. You can't really see the indent because that's what I was trying to get rid of, the indent. So that's what I did here in this section with my DA. Okay, so now that I got this all nice and sanded down, what I'm gonna do is finish buffing the door, everything up, because I wanna paint last. I don't wanna paint this and then be up here with the buffer and then accidentally nick the Plasti Dip. So I wanna buff everything, finish completely buffing the truck finally after everything. It's taken me forever. Completely buff the entire truck as well as I can get. Again, it's not gonna get perfect, but I'm just gonna bring, like I said, we're just gonna refresh it. So refresh the truck as much as possible. Lay the wax down, because I want that to be the last step that I do before I Plasti Dip. So I wanna have the whole top of the truck, this half of the truck, done, complete.
Then I will focus on the bottom, which is plasti dipping everything. I got a pretty cool trick that I'm gonna do back there for the bed because it's a work truck, so I want them to be able to use it and not worry about, you know, stuff coming off. So there's gonna be some cosmetic spots, which the wheels will be cosmetic, but certain areas where you're actually gonna be working, I'm gonna make sure that they're very rugged. So I'm gonna go ahead and start, I'm gonna clean this with some alcohol. That's a little trick. If you don't have any prep cleaner or anything like that, just get you a rag, microfiber rag. I got some 91% alcohol. My wife picked it up for me yesterday. You definitely want this whenever you're plasti dipping. If you don't have the prep or the plastic prep, as they call it, you don't have to spend money on that. If you wipe it down with alcohol, it's definitely gonna stick. So I'm gonna wipe this down because this has been very dusty from sanding. Just wipe it down real good.
Okay, right here, so I'm wiping down the truck with some alcohol, as I just said. That does really work. It's a really quick DIY trick. If you don't have any prep cleaner or anything like that, that really will get it clean enough to do what I'm doing here. This isn't something that you want to do professionally or in the shop, but if you're at home and you're just doing something for a project like this, that'll work really well. What I'm doing here, using this buffing pad and this DA, one trick that I noticed if you're gonna do this at home, clean the pad. I didn't know how to properly clean the pad until later, but you can use just regular soap and water and then spin the pad in an empty bucket to wring it out, and then you can use it again. But it does really work, polish and compound. If I had more time, I would have done this process with a heavy duty compound and then went over it with this medium compound. You can do it all with this device, with this Orbital Sander. You can definitely get a really good shine with this Orbital Sander. Again, it's not the perfect method, but if it's a at-home method, you can definitely do this and you will get really good results. As you can see, I'm getting decent results, and this is just compound and wax.
All right, guys, so as you can see, the truck is finally all done. It's all buffed out. Looks so much better. The hood still needs a true buff, but I did the best that I could. It's all clean, it's all buffed out. I got Shelly over here. She's cleaning the back of the taillights. Thank you, babe. Thank you so much. She's cleaning the back of the taillights because this is what they look like. They're extremely dirty. So now I have 2, 3, 4 projects left. It's about 12:16. Let me see. No, it's about 12:18. 12:18. He's going to be here at 4 to 5. So I have less than 4 hours to finish the wheels, tape off everything right here, plasti dip everything black. I'm gonna bed liner his rear bumper because you see it's already kind of textured. So I'm gonna bed liner this. So this way, moving forward, whenever he puts stuff in the back, it's nice and textured, nice and strong. This is all done. I think I'm also gonna tape off and bed liner this too. Kind of freshen this up a little bit. All this right here is done. So my next step is to, I'm gonna do the biggest part, which is the whole bottom half of the truck. I'm gonna go ahead, tape off everything and start to plasti dip that. Okay guys, we are finally done taping everything off. Shelly's doing just a little bit of last minute prep work. As you see, it is 2:12. George, you will be here at 4 o'clock. This truck will be done. Everything is taped off, just getting that prepped so we can dip it. Shelly's gonna clean all the wheels while I start painting in all the different areas. This is all prepped. This is all prepped, everything's taped off. This wheel's actually clean. I actually cleaned that one. Yep, so we just gotta dip everything. Then I'm gonna bed liner that right there, and then just dip this side. So I got about less than 2 hours. Oh, I'm also gonna bed liner this. I'm gonna be cutting it very close, babe. Very close. So, hey, that's what happens. I still need to buff the taillights, and then kind of wipe the car down, but gonna be cutting it close. I should be able to knock all this out within an hour, and then have the last half an hour to do the last finishing touches. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and get into it.
Okay, so right here, when using Plasti Dip, especially in difficult areas like this, you want to make sure that you're spraying in all different types of angles. Get up, look around, try to find areas where you think you might have missed. It's extremely hard. This took a very long time. I am fast forwarding this at about 800, so it's very fast. These wheels, even though it may look like I got full coverage, I can promise you when I rolled the truck outside, I missed a lot of areas. So be very careful. Even if you think that you can get it with just one shot, make sure you always roll the truck back or roll the vehicle back about 5 feet maybe, and then spray all the areas that you missed. Right here, this was very easy. It's just very straightforward. The gun wants to spray very well like this. No issues here, but the wheels, I definitely had to put a lot of effort into getting the wheels fully covered. They're 20-inch wheels, so it's very large surface area to cover in different angles that I had this spray at. I also put 3 coats of Plasti Dip on everywhere that I put Plasti Dip. I put 3 coats of Plasti Dip. This way I could ensure that it wouldn't peel off later. 3 to 5 coats, and you're pretty covered. The difference here, I'm spraying bed liner on the rear bumper, not Plasti Dip. I'm also spraying bed liner on that plastic piece up top, because these are areas that people are gonna kick, touch, hit with different things. So I wanted to make sure that they're extremely strong. I actually cut out a section right here in the video because the nozzle on the spray can for some reason didn't want to work. I had to finish the job turning the spray can upside down. As you can see here, in certain areas I have to turn the spray can actually upside down. It doesn't want to come out, so I couldn't figure it out, but once I was able to turn the can upside down, I was able to finish the job. All in all, it's about a 5 out of 10 difficulty.